So I am here at the Magic Millions Festival of British Eventing. I'm just walking the course. I actually just did a wonderful course walk with Will Rawlins, so if you want to see any clips from that, head over to my Instagram, because he gave us a wonderful sort of walk around the course of how he would actually ride it tomorrow morning. It was his first time walking the course, which was really nice actually to see him figure it out in real time. But I just thought what we haven't done in a while is a little sort of walk and talk. So I thought I might walk around some of this course here and talk a little bit about the horse search, because a lot of you had questions for me. So I thought I'd sort of split it into 3 parts. I'm going to talk about the horse itself and sort of what's changed this time, what I'm looking for. Then I'm going to talk about the side of selling side of things. I had a lot of questions about the process of selling, what kind of seller I want, x-rays and all sorts of things. And then about actually when I find the horse, what happens next, because I had questions on that. So I've got all of my questions here on my phone. So I'm going to kick things off. Before I do, beautiful Gatcombe house behind us. This is actually towards the end of the course, but hopefully you'll get glimpses as we go past. So the first sort of couple of questions, actually lots of people asked me, what have I learned from last time and what will I do differently? And I think for me, 100% doing x-rays is going to be a big thing. I did a 5-stage last time. If I'd have done x-rays, I'd have probably found side bone, I'd have found the arthritis. In fact, not probably, I would have definitely found those things. And it may not have meant that we ended up with the outcome, or may not have avoided the outcome that we ended up with, but it would have given me more information. And sometimes you don't know these things until you do x-ray. So I think that's sort of the point. So I would certainly be x-raying front feet. I would like to x-ray hocks as well. I mean, I would x-ray the back, but my vet doesn't like doing it because you don't always get a clear view. And sometimes from, I think she said, you can't always see things through the back. So anyway, and it doesn't always mean what you think it means. And as always, you know, x-raying is just a snapshot. It doesn't give you a guarantee that nothing is going to happen. But that's what I'll be doing. In terms of what I'm looking for, not massive amounts have changed. I'm still looking for something with a bit more bone. I have my favourite breeds, you know, Irish Draft, Irish Sport, which is what Woody was. What else? I still think height-wise, you know, I've been tempted to kind of go a little bit bigger where I haven't been able to find what I'm looking for. But actually, I think that the bigger they are, that, you know, the taller they are, the harder they are because they're long. So I think staying within that kind of 15.3 to 16.2, 16.3 range is probably where I'm likely to stay. And then in terms of age, this time around I feel a bit more comfortable looking younger. So probably looking at sort of 6-year-olds, maybe a really nice 5-year-old, but I'm not sure. And then up to about 10 years old. I had some questions over, you know, would you be after a schoolmaster or would you be more looking for something that's younger that you can kind of put your own stamp on? And it's a conversation I've had with my coach as well. I think ultimately for me, I don't want something so young that I'm going to have to spend a few years kind of getting them up to speed with everything. I'd like to be able to go out and do stuff, but equally I don't want a schoolmaster. I don't want something that is on the other side of kind of 10, 11, because I want this horse for a long time. So it's a real hard balance because everybody's looking for the same thing. Everybody wants a horse that's done a bit but not too much, so it's tricky. I've tried one horse. I've been speaking to lots and lots of people, but there's only actually one horse that I've gone ahead and tried, and he was lovely, but I think a little bit too big really for his age. He was going to keep growing, and a little bit green, and had a couple of kind of things that I just wasn't sure about. You can see one of the waters behind me here. In terms of my approach this time, I feel a lot more pragmatic. I think obviously I was saying on a different video that all the kind of magic is gone or whatever, which is true, but not in a bad way. I think I'm a lot more confident this time around in what I want, what I'm looking for, more confident in looking at a video and thinking that horse isn't right for me for whatever reason, you know, the scope is too much, they look too sharp, whatever it is, not enough engine, you know, or looking at horses that I think aren't quite right, which unfortunately is a thing. There are certain dealers that I know I don't really like, don't know that I like the way they ride the horses or whatever. And then equally I have dealers that are my favourites. I'm being taught through my coach, like we discuss horses and phrases to look out for and things, and she'll sort of question, well, why have they said that? And So I'm getting better at all of that, which is helpful. Also, what feels right when I sit on a horse. I think I've had what's been really wonderful this summer is I've been able to ride so many different horses. Well, I say so many, I've ridden probably 4 or 5 at the moment, with more to come, but you get a real sense of like what feels right for you and what isn't right. And I think quite quickly when I get on a horse now, I'm like, would I buy this horse? Yes, no, why? And that's really helpful, because I think when I go on to do more viewings, I'm able then to be like, oh yeah, I know quite quickly whether what I'm looking for in a horse. Obviously you don't always get the finished package, but just sort of knowing what feels good. The other thing actually that being with Woody taught me is that temperament obviously is very important to me. I've seen some lovely horses who are very like workmanlike and not very cuddly, and actually realising that that's a real deal breaker for me, because that's something I really want in a horse. And equally not underestimating how important it is for me to feel safe out hacking. I hack out a lot on my own, and I want to be out at fun rides and things, and I want to feel safe. I don't want to feel like I haven't got brakes. I don't want to feel, you know, that my horse is going to be super nappy. Woody was spooky, but like that I don't mind. But that, you sort of realise what's really important to you when you start comparing a little bit to your old horse. What else have we got here? So I had a couple of questions around, would I use an agent? I don't know, probably not. I think I have enough connections in the horse world that I've got people looking out for me, and you know that, and I'm really lucky that I have instructors and friends who are professional riders and things that I can ask for their advice. But I think if you're not horsey, agents can be really helpful, as can, you know, hiring an instructor to help you with these sorts of things. So moving on to pricing and budget, I got quite a lot of questions about this. Like, have the prices changed since COVID, and what's the max price you're willing to pay, and how did I save up, and all the rest of it. So I think the prices are kind of strange. So in some ways they've gone up since COVID, but I'm also seeing a lot more people willing to drop, like people who have put their horses up for X amount and actually end up selling them for much, much less. This has happened quite a few times from what I can see. But then there's still the odd person who's got their horse up for what I think is way more than what that horse's value is, based on what's in the ad, etc. So it's interesting. In terms of saving up for this horse, so I don't know if I've ever said this publicly. So for the past sort of 3 years, or 4 years I've been doing Riding with Ree, all the money that I have made I've put into a bank account. I've used to buy equipment and diaries and pay tax and whatever, but I haven't actually touched it really. And I last year, or the year before, no, it must have been last year, because it was when I was thinking Woody might retire, I put it away in an ISA for a year, and it was going to be Woody's retirement fund, or at least, you know, the first kind of couple of years of that. And of course, well, it's not Woody's retirement fund anymore, and so, you know, trying to make something nice out of that and making it my new horse fund, which is a real privilege. And obviously my corporate career allows me to save money for this as well, but you all watching this and things, this has helped me to save for a new horse. So I have a slightly higher budget than last time, not out of choice, just because that's where the market is, which is unfortunate, but I'm hoping to get something for a little bit less if I can, obviously. And then I will do x-rays as well, so there's that to think about costing up for, because that will be sort of over £1,000 by the time you've done a 5-stage vetting and x-rays. And then finally wanted to touch on, where is it? So what happens after I find them? So will I be keeping them at the new yard? What yard would I be keeping them at? And same rugs and things. Yes, they'll be at the same yard. I love my yard, it's full livery. It's also nice to know that if the cost of living does kind of crunch things, which was a question as well, that I can drop down to part livery or DIY and still be able to afford my horse. In terms of equipment, there is some equipment that I will use, I imagine, if it fits. So I haven't made my mind about the bridle yet, but I think rugs, grooming kit, things like that, numbness, and then there's some equipment that will never touch another horse, like his head collar. But I'm going to take each piece of equipment as it comes, I guess, and go from there. But yeah, that's the update. I hope this doesn't sound too out of breath when I edit it, but that's the update on the horse search. So nothing yet, but you know, I have faith that sort of end of summer is coming and people might be selling after the last summer because they don't want to go into winter with the horse, so we will see. I will keep you updated, and yeah, I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.